Welcome to 2 Minutes of Gaming, where we talk about the top video game topics of the month for 2 minutes at a time. I'm your host, Keenan, and today I'm joined by...
Justin. How's everybody doing?
Everyone's quarantined, probably bored, and hopefully we can provide some entertainment. We're going to start right from the top. For those who haven't watched the show before, you might not know, but Final Fantasy VII is Justin's favorite game of all time. So I'm going to give him 2 minutes on the clock for himself to just talk about some of the pros and cons. And, you know, was it worth the wait? What was it, like almost like a 20-year wait, right? Around
7? It was at least a good 10-year wait for this remake to come.
So like 23-year difference between the first and this one. So, Justin, what's your thoughts on Final Fantasy VII?
Okay, is it worth the hype? Yes.
Okay.
First of all, let's talk about graphics. The graphics is absolutely spectacular. This game captures Midgard just like how Final Fantasy Avid Children movies did, and it did it way better. The casting and the voice acting is way better than the previous cast. They really embody it. Fans of Tifa are absolutely going to love her. They gave her a more mature role in this one. She's more mature. Ares is a little bit more kiddie compared to Tifa, but you're going to love it. Gameplay-wise, I don't have a problem with it, besides a little bit of certain enemies that you face. Kenny, you're not up to it yet, but there's certain enemies that are in the air, and sometimes you're just Cloud, and Cloud don't really have like a jump attack button and stuff like that, but that's a whole different scenario. Story-wise, they did deviate a little bit from the core Final Fantasy. I'm not going to spoil it, but all I'm going to say, I'm not happy about the ending. I just feel like they went a certain other RPG route, and if you know the guy who directed it, you know what RPG I'm alluding to. It's very convoluted, but I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to do with it. There's certain elements that was introduced that I'm not happy about, but yeah, I digress. I'm not going to complain about that. Overall, I think that this was definitely worth the wait. I am really happy, satisfied with it. There is a lot of content to do. I do feel like they kind of just padded it just a bit, because there are a lot of things that I felt like they could have did the whole first disc as much content they put in here. But they decided to expand and just give us the city of Midgard. But, you know, for the most part, I'm excited to see where part 2 is going. So I would say definitely pick it up if you're an RPG fan. Hell, if you just want to see Final Fantasy VII to see what everybody's talking about, definitely a must get.
I'm going to just say two things. One thing, that game is surreal. That's all I'm going to say. That's one thing. All right. PS5, when we finished the show last month, right after that, they revealed the PS5 controller. This is the first time that Sony has really drastically changed their controller since obviously since the PS1 days. So, Justin, you had a PS1. You kind of saw the evolution. What's your thoughts on this PS5 control design?
I feel design-wise, it looks a little bit too much like an Xbox controller. That's just me. I felt like it kind of looked like an Xbox controller. I felt it was a little bit more bulkier compared to obviously 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, technically 1, 2, and 3 and 4 have been kind of the same design since, its inception. But I am open-minded about it. I mean, there are some features in there like the in-built mic, the create button, and things like that, which I'm pretty sure you're going to elaborate on. Yeah. And I'm kind of excited to see it. I'm just not a kind of a fan of the bulkiness because I'm used to this. So I'm used to like this type of the way it controls, the way it feels. I'm used to that. So if it's a little bit bigger, it's going to take some adjustment for me to get used to it.
Yeah. So a couple things. I don't like the color. I think as somebody who loved my Xbox 360, when I would play games on Xbox 360 for like a long time and I was sweating, I was nervous, aka Ninja Gaiden 2, my hands would get sweaty, and then, sometimes your hands a little dirty, you came from outside or whatever, the dirt would get on the control really easy, and then after like 6 months, a year, there's a little dirt, and then the control is not as bright anymore. So that kind of bothers me. But obviously you can buy alternate controls, so that's not alternate colors. Not going to be too bad. One thing I do love the lights on the front. Sometimes that light at the top, they would try to use that, like in Last of Us, they would turn it red when you died and things like that, and it was kind of hard to see. So having the lights on the front is actually a great idea. But I'm really interested to hear about what are they going to do with that create button, right? It's going to obviously have share features as well, but I think that we're going to be able to maybe create a dynamic theme or something, for instance, right? That'd be really cool. In addition to that, having a mic inside of there is great because I'm not an online gamer. And Justin, you know, once in a while, you might want to show me something and we'll be online. It's good to just have the mic already in there. So, and I already talked about the adaptive triggers on another show. So we're going to leave back where that's at. Resident Evil 3 came out, and while it had great reviews, people are really upset and more or less disappointed. So Justin, you know, let's say you're the CEO, you're the creative director at Capcom. What would you have done differently to fix Resident Evil 3?
I would have took out the damn clock tower segment, that's for sure. I would have just kept it to the core of what it was. Yes, like kind of what they did with Resident Evil 2. Like, I don't understand why they took that segment out. And I guess because they wanted to make it more of an action-oriented game. But I would have stayed true to what they were doing. And I didn't really see that. I would have actually made the game a little bit longer, expand on certain characters, a little bit more characters on Carlos. Make Brad have a section, I guess. You know, explore Brad, even though he was just such a minor character. But give Brad, I mean, they did a little bit more, but give Brad a little bit of playtime and things like that. But I don't know. I felt that it was way too short from what I've heard from friends. Everybody gave me feedback. There's like, dude, this is like 4 hours. So there's like, just wait for a sale.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, again, the original Resident Evil wasn't that long. You know what I'm saying? So I think here's how I'll say, and I actually have more than a minute to say, but I'm going to try to give you the bridge version. When I first played Resident Evil 3, that was the first time that I really felt like I was understanding what Raccoon City is, right? One, you're stuck in this mansion. Two, you're stuck in this police station. You go underground, all this stuff. Now, I think I would have really expanded on the Raccoon City lore, and I would have made you feel like, talk to the residents. Honestly, I would have made a completely different turn and made it kind of open world / RPG-ish, where you meet more survivors, you meet people hiding in their houses. Not to spoil it for you, Justin, but when you play in the beginning scene, when you are in Jill's house, it's really cool. I would love to see more houses, more news cameras and stuff talking about the virus. So I think they should have took a completely different approach, but instead they took the lazy approach and just really, Justin, they reused assets from part 2. Like, it just dropped and pasted them in to part 3. Lazy.
Well, they also could have just combined, before we go to next, it could have actually combined Resident Evil 3 and the stories from Outbreak 1 and 2 that was on the PS2, because that takes place during 2 and 3, and you would have had a full, complete game right there.
Very much so. All right. Speaking of zombies, Last of Us 2 has been delayed indefinitely thanks to COVID-19. Pros and cons to this, Justin, what's your thoughts on this? Should they delay it, or should they let people game while they're stuck in the house?
I didn't think it needed to be delayed because, I mean, Final Fantasy released on time and they're already at 3 million. I secretly think that they still need to do more work on it. Wow. So this was just like the perfect time for them to do it. Because they could have just released it digitally, but apparently they had like this huge event they wanted to do, you know, to celebrate the Last of Us 2 release, but that could have always been taking place down the line. They could have just released it digitally and they would have still saw the sales that they had, but I guess people who pre-ordered, they want everybody to play it at the same time. So, I mean, I get it. At the same time, for those people who still do physical copies in 2020, that's not a shot. I'm just saying, you know, I guess that's what they really wanted to do. But me personally, I think they needed more time to fix some couple of bugs or change things up, to do little final tweaks, and this gives them the time to do that.
This is so tough because I'm so, on one hand, look at a game like you said, Final Fantasy and Animal Crossing as well. I think Animal Crossing They said Animal Crossing has outsold Mario and Zelda. Okay, only I think Smash Brothers was the only Switch game to outsell it. So like they're already killing it already. So I mean, out the gate first month. So people are gaming. People want to game right now. But at the same time, I do understand that if you're Sony and you want to run a huge ad campaign on an LA billboard, New York train stations, people aren't seeing it as much as they would have before. So I get that. In addition to that as well, you can always delay it and, you know, have it come out on the fall, spring, you know, late summer or whatever. So I understand both sides of it. I mean, would I personally have loved to play it? Yes, but if they're reporting that a large chunk of their sales come from physical copies, then I get it. It makes sense. So again, I'm really torn about this one. All right. Next topic. Borderlands developers get screwed. So Justin, you brought this topic to me. I want you to kind of explain it in detail and give your thoughts as well.
Basically, the CEO of the company that, you know, published Borderlands basically told the developers that they're not going to be getting the bonuses that he promised them. And it's just been like this whole controversy. And this is kind of, I don't think this is the first time he's done something like this. Like this boss has a history of doing things like this. So obviously the developers are not happy about that. And I brought it to their attention because I wanted to get your perspective on this. And as an indie person, what would you do in a situation like this? Like for me, I don't understand how these guys didn't like at least put that in writing. Like, hey, I'm guaranteed a bonus, because if you put that in writing in your contract, you have a lawsuit on your hands because they mean they owe you money. If you're just taking it by a handshake or by face value, you have yourself to blame.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because what they're trying to do is, like, as a developer and as people, you know, as somebody who go to GCs and go to these events, there's so many people who would love to make video games for a living, right? But you have a company like this who is saying, hey, come over here. We're not going to give you a lot of money to chase your dreams, but you have the potential to make all this money in bonuses. And hey, Brad got a $10,000 bonus last game. Michael got a $20,000 bonus. So while we're giving you a lower pay than you could probably get somewhere else, we're giving you an experience and also the potential for bonuses. So I really feel for these guys. They definitely got screwed because from my understanding that the CEO, his name slips my mind right now, he still got his bonus, you know, which is crazy to me, you know, and to kind of switch gears a little bit to The Last of Us developers. You know, The Last of Us developers, they had a delay prior to this, the one that we just mentioned. And instead of that delay giving them more time, it gave them more time to crunch. So, again, as somebody who has released 3 games, when the game, and Justin, you can speak on your end of it, when your game is almost done, it is crunch time. I don't care if you work for a big company or a small company. Crunch is going to be part of life. There's going to be things that you did not understand and that you did not know at the time that present itself late in the development cycle that needs to be fixed as soon as possible because you're releasing in a week or two or a month. So just only a couple of seconds left, Justin, but do you want to speak on that real quick?
Yeah, when it comes to crunch, I agree. It's just a part of the game. It's part of the game. But when the crunch is getting to the point where these guys are literally passing out, the health is at risk, that's where you just got to be like, okay, now this is becoming like inhumane conditions. And, you know, unfortunately, some of these guys, like you said earlier, you know, they want to be part of these big companies in these big franchises. So they're going to put literally their lives at risk just to make the game. So, you know, it's part of the game. But at the same time, when does crunch go too far?
Yeah, that's the question. That'd be another topic for later as well. But people, we want to introduce a new segment, a new final round. We're going to call this freestyle round. And in this round, I mean, there's so many video game topics that we didn't cover in those 5 topics. But we want to just open up the floor. And Justin, you got a minute on the clock. What's some things that you want to talk about? Anything?
Believe it or not, I've been playing I've been having a good time playing some PlayStation Now. I know I talked about it in previous episodes, but I would strongly suggest if you have $10 or if you have the free trial, give it a shot. There is an endless library right there. I've been playing Dark Rose Valkyrie RPG. Love it. I'm absolutely loving this RPG. I've been playing. I got Blair Witch, which I'm having a blast with. I didn't think I was gonna have a blast with it. I'm still playing Final Fantasy VII, and for some reason I'm playing golf. Like,
is it Golf Story?
No, it's Golf Club. It's called the Golf Club 2019, and it's kind of good. I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah. I want to talk just kind of a little bit serious topic here. Kyle Larson, the NASCAR driver who was fired for saying the N-word while playing a NASCAR video game. I wanted to talk about that real quick. This guy's a complete idiot. And my message is for white people in general. Why are y'all so obsessed with saying the N-word all the time? Like, if you, and it looked like he wanted to insult the guy. If you want to insult a black person, they're white people, just say he's an a-hole or just say he's an idiot or, you know what I mean? You can insult him like you would insult a white person. So we need to stop with this N-word dropping all the time. So he was fired. He's an idiot. Good for him. But on a positive note, I don't know if you heard, Justin, they're working on Grand Theft Auto 6, which is really exciting. You know, if you think about it, Justin, I was going to bring this up on a couple shows ago. They have not released a Grand Theft Auto for this console. Now, let me finish. For this console cycle. The Grand Theft Auto 5 came out for Xbox 360 and PS3. Those were like rehashes, and they just dropped them on the systems now. So I'm super excited about Grand Theft Auto 6. And also, before we go, Streets of Rage 4 is coming out next week. I can't wait. We're going to be talking about that more than likely.
Definitely, we will.
But, till next time, appreciate you guys.
Later days, folks.
All right.